Hi, this is Dee at Aloha, Astro. We're looking at a full moon in the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn today, July 3rd, 2023. It occurred at 7:39 a.m. Eastern Time at 11 degrees 19 minutes of Capricorn. So let's take a look at the forecast for the day and for the energy of this full moon. Full moon in Capricorn, Monday, July 3rd, highlights finding a balance between your drive for success and mastery and your involvement with family or your emotional stability, as the moon opposes the sun and Mercury conjunct in Cancer. A series of 3 minor grand trine aspect patterns. Number 1, the moon, north node conjunct Jupiter in Taurus, Saturn retrograde in Pisces. Number 2, Mercury and the sun, Saturn, north node in Jupiter. And number 3, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, Neptune retrograde in Pisces, and Uranus in Taurus can help you to understand the why and how of things on a mental, emotional, material, or spiritual level, and gives you the opportunity for practical and beneficial growth or improvement in your career, relationships, and living conditions. Although many could feel a greater respect for the rules, traditions, elders, and authority figures in their lives at this full moon, because they find themselves taking on a mantle of commitment and responsibility, Mars conjunct Venus in Leo, square to Uranus, and quincunx to Neptune, stimulates a desire to do things differently or to make a personal creative statement, which could result in a break for freedom and a bittersweet loss. Each generation is sheltered, protected, and guided by previous generations in both family and working life. But each generation must also bring something of its own forward. This lunation could bring a crossroads moment of both integration and separation for you, as the wisdom of years and the courageous creativity of youth meet. Look back, but keep moving forward. So, let's take a look at how things look in the sky right now at the time of this full moon. And we can see the opposition between the moon in Capricorn and the sun and Mercury in Cancer. Here is one of those minor grand trines with Jupiter and Saturn. This definitely encourages the desire to build something safe. There's definitely growth-seeking energy, but Cancer is needs-aware, needs-oriented, and very nurturing, and concerned about, well, we have a concern here for everybody being safe, comfortable, fed, supported, and Saturn retrograde in Pisces indicates that there is something going on here with established foundations or memory or the recognition of something that is already good that is in place. There can definitely be growth in new ways because we have another minor grand trine with the planet of change, Uranus, a very idealistic Neptune that is also sending some of its energy backwards or looking backwards, and Pluto also in retrograde. I think that this is slowing down some of the growth potential of Jupiter and the North Node, and you can see that Jupiter is quite busy, but very well aspected. There are no challenging aspects. And the same can be said with Neptune and Saturn and Pluto. Really, there's not much here getting in their way other than the fact that they are retrograde. And I do think that the retrograde energy of Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune interacting favorably in these 3 minor grand trines is basically saying, look at what you already have. How can you improve upon what you already have? Or go back to source. Go back to maybe past dreams. Consult with people who are older and wiser and have already lived through an experience like yours. Listen to what their wisdom might be. It's a little bit of a slow down, but there's still forward motion involved. And the moon in Capricorn is definitely aware of the serious nature of things. It is going to help you to figure out what the most important things are right now and to prioritize them, or to work effectively so that things do get done with the least amount of waste or having to correct something. So there's definitely good mindfulness involved right now as Mercury and the Sun are participating strongly in all of this. The renegade energy right now is definitely that creative, dramatic, fiery, youthful, and sometimes egotistical Leo, fire. And we've got Venus and Mars in that sign right now. This is definitely heating up people's drive to get what they want, because Venus is about affection, pleasure, desire, and Mars is about action and physicality. So we're all feeling, in whatever area of life Venus and Mars are moving through, that we want some of that, or we want more, or we want to have some recognition, because Leo is pretty much a drama queen or king, like, hey, look at me, or come play with me. So that attention seeking or rebellious creativity or acting out is coming about through the square to Uranus and Taurus. There can be some impatience. As the push is being made to go after what you want or to produce changes, there may be some necessary letting go, or there may be some disappointment or loss. Quincunx is an interesting aspect. It can feel like a trine sometimes, or like an opposition at other times. What it really does is simply bring something to the moment and bring it to your attention, where you're going to feel the Leo energy of Venus and Mars, and you're going to feel Neptune in Pisces, and then how you react and respond has a lot to do with you and what actions you choose to take, what your attitude will be, and whether you wind up disappointed or you accept and then adapt to whatever it is that you achieve or receive. Attitude can make the difference. Attitude can make all the difference. And it can make a difference in whether other people will accept any of your creative ideas. That may also be something where, even if you're feeling rather rebellious or you have some great original ideas, it may behoove you to take the more respectful or traditional approach in terms of communication with others, before you go and hit them up with something that's going to rock their world somehow, or requires them to change their perception and accept what you are presenting to them. So everything has its place, and that is something that this particular lunation, I think, is making us aware of, that there are rules to follow in the game of life. And there are times when we should be challenging them or growing beyond them or trying new things. Yet it still is helpful when we respect them, observe them, or realize that the people that we are needing to help us or needing to change and have them get with the program may already be very set in particular ways or rules, methods, and that you're not going to get somewhere by being abrasive or rude, that following things according to, respect and a recognition of where somebody is right now and what they've been through, even if you're not in agreement with them and you're wanting them to change their mind, is still an important thing. it is still something that can help you out. If you want growth, if you want the growth of Jupiter, and we have some angel wings going on here, then there has to be a respect for everything, basically everything and everybody else. And if that is what you want to be receiving, then give what you would like to receive is also another way to look at two of these minor grand trines that we have going on. Whatever it is that you wish to receive, be a giver and give that, and it will be reflected back to you. Let's take a look at the Sabian symbol. And we round up to 12 degrees of Capricorn. An illustrated lecture on natural science reveals little-known aspects of life. Keynote: the ability to explore unfamiliar realms and discover the laws underlying the complex processes of nature. The aristocratic garden of the preceding phase has become the laboratory and lecture hall of a modern college. The emphasis here is on the acquisition of extensive knowledge, the satisfaction of intellectual curiosity. Nevertheless, there is also an aristocracy of science. This is the modern type. Its use of acquired knowledge can pose as many problems as the use of hereditary aristocratic wealth, but it is man's essential function to become fully conscious of all life forms and processes on this earth. Mankind is the conscious mind of the planet. At this second stage, the intellectual search for empirical knowledge contrasts with the display attendant to the wealth and culture of an elite. Civilization is founded on an ever-extended capitalization on knowledge and use of technology. It features exploitation preeminently at all levels. Wow, that's a lot of word salad and a lot of stuff to think about. As I was reading this one line, its use of acquired knowledge can pose as many problems as the use of hereditary aristocratic wealth. I was thinking just yesterday when I was looking at a particular invention, or even a lot of the new things. We're bombarded constantly in today's society with all these things that are being created materially and invented, and many of them are serving a need. But how many are going to fall to the wayside and not be utilized because of a lack of marketing or popularity? And as we're sitting here with the moon in Capricorn, another thought that came to my mind was that the ruling planet of Capricorn is Saturn, which is form and structure. And prior to Uranus being discovered and integrated into astrological interpretation and being assigned to Aquarius, Saturn had dual rulership. So it is the ancient ruler of both Capricorn and Aquarius. And we have some Uranian energy at play presently where we are looking toward the future, but we've had Pluto, which for several months, when it entered Aquarius back in March, the end of March, and stayed in there for April, May, and half of June, it went into a retrograde, and in the middle of June, it went back into Capricorn. So we've slid back, and yet we've had the taste, we've had the little trailer and the preview of that Aquarius energy. And I think that this moon in Capricorn, by its very nature and by the fact of Pluto having given us that little taste of Aquarius energy, and now it's back in Capricorn, as well as we have Uranus right now interacting with Saturn, which is the ruler. Wait, is it with Saturn? No, it is with Pluto. And we've got Saturn to Jupiter in Taurus. But Uranus is interacting with the Leo planets, Neptune, and Pluto. So our higher ideals, visions, dreams, and inspiration, as well as our power, or our fear, and our ability to transform and transcend, we have transformation and transcendental and change energy all involved right now. And I feel like we are on it's a super moon, by the way. I read today that this is a super full moon, so it will appear bigger tonight. And it feels super on an energetic level as well. It feels as if there is more at stake at this moment to maybe learn from mistakes of the past or work harder and more diligently to clear up stuff and prepare and look forward and have a good, strong foundation in whatever you're aiming to achieve before we have Pluto come out of Capricorn and re-enter Aquarius at the beginning of 2024. So do not lose faith. Do not quit working at something, and realize that there may be more going on growth-wise that will take time behind the scenes, and still some things to do here that we weren't ready as a society or maybe individually to step into that shift of Pluto into Aquarius. We maybe started some things or got excited about certain things, but we don't have the full either power behind us right now, momentum, or it's about timing. And I think that this is a good time to really examine the past carefully and take account, especially while the North Node and Jupiter are still loosely conjunct in Taurus, which rules the second house of money and self-worth, self-esteem, personal finances. Take account of what you already do have before you consider risking it and before you consider going after anything else. Think long and hard on that. So those are my thoughts on this Capricorn full moon. It does always have some association with career, success, authority, mastery, and reputation. The cardinal signs always want to be right, so you might find that people are a little bit pricklier right now with the moon in Capricorn, but that doesn't mean that they can't be helpful or supportive either. Sometimes Capricorn just wants to make sure that wherever they invest their time is going to be a good use of their time because, of course, their ruler is Saturn. And Saturn is very concerned with duty, responsibility, authority, and the measuring of time and the good use of time. It's a work-oriented planet and an accountability planet. And while we have the moon interacting with the ruler of Capricorn, we are all a bit more aware of that. The challenge comes with the opposition there to the Sun and Mercury in Cancer, and that must consider the needs of others as well, and maybe have some reflection back on family. And if you are out of balance in your time spent with family or at home versus time spent pursuing a job, even if all of that pursuit of job and career and more money is ultimately to benefit the family, is that true, or is that something you're just using to avoid dealing with deeper situations on an emotional level or within your relationships? If you're using, oh, I've got to work as an excuse. All right, that's it. Have a safe and happy full moon. And I will see you again in about 2 weeks when we reach a new moon. Take care.